And welcome back to PJ Talks. It's your host, John, the youth pastor from Ohio. Man, last week we started a series called Future You. We dove into how important it is as to the decisions that you're making today for the future you. Who you become in 5 years matters who you are today and the seeds that we're planting. Today we are covering friends and the people you hang around. Man, again, this is not just for teenagers and young adults and for those that are still have a group of friends. No, hey, married person, this is for you too. Who are your friends? My friend is only my spouse. Okay, we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about how are the people that you hang around, the people that you fellowship with, how are they affecting you? Whether it's one person or 20, all of them have an impact. It's important that you choose them wisely. This and so much more on PJ Talks.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And welcome back to PJ Talks. Man, your relationships, who you hang out with, does in fact matter. Open up your Bibles with me to Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20. It says, whoever walks with the wise becomes wise. Okay, I'd like to be wise, right? So let me hang out with the wise. But then it continues. It says, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. You become who you surround yourself with. I'm going to say that again. You become who you surround yourself with. Not instantly, but gradually. I mean, I've seen it with teenagers and I've seen it with grown adults. Teenagers, I've seen it when they hang out with the punk rock kids and the kids, the gothic kids and the emo kids. As soon as they start hanging out with them, even though they might have a bright personality and they themselves might be innocent and pure, they hang around that crowd and all of a sudden they become more seclusive. They become more sad, alone, kind of like, and they just get this negative attitude. Even if they themselves aren't dressing like it, they themselves don't listen to that type of music, they themselves don't, partake in any of that. But man, if they hang around those people, eventually this is what happens. Parents, watch out for that. But hey, parents, let me talk to you too. Your coworkers, your adult friend groups, you become like. The wives that your wife talks to, the husbands your husband talks to, that's who are going to have a great impact on them. It's important who you hang out with. You become like them. I've seen grown adults who act crazy immature because of the people that they surround themselves with. All of a sudden, their feelings and what normally one wouldn't work them up, all of a sudden gets them worked up. I've seen when they get upset and they use the same phraseology as a certain friend group. That's not you speaking, that's that friend group. They just don't see that because that's who they're surrounding themselves off of. They surround themselves with people who are just sounding boards for themselves because they just like to hear themselves talk. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, be not deceived, bad company ruins good morals. Look at the company you're around. Look at their fruit. Are they adults? Adults, I'm talking to you. Are they people that their fruit is something like, yeah, I want to mimic that? Man, they have kids that are behaving well. I want to mimic that. Man, they had kids that are in church, that are serving Christ, that are honoring him. Man, I want to hang out with that. Or their kids aren't in church. They're all a mess. They're working all the time. They're not really faithful to church. Don't hang out with those people. Yeah, but they're nice. It doesn't matter. Man, have higher standards for yourself. If they're faithfully in church and they're loving Christ and their kids are serving and they're just on fire for the Lord. Man, I want to be around the wise. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Surround yourself with them. Force your teens to hang around teens that are on fire for Christ. Well, they just don't like that crowd. No, make your kid like that crowd. Parent, that's your job. Train up a child in the way that they should go. Train them. My kids don't get to choose what they like and dislike. I tell them, especially with food. You are not allowed to dislike this type of food. This is what you are eating. Period. They don't know. They don't know anything. They're 7, 6, 7, 5, and 2. They're not allowed to like and dislike things. They don't know enough. eventually, as time comes on, okay, yeah, you generally, like for me, my mom forced me to eat green beans and I hated them. I would like throw up. And my mom talks about it this day, like, man, I felt bad. Like I forced you to eat green beans. There's that line. But if it's something that they've never tasted before, if they're just like, no, I just don't like it. Well, have you ever had it? No. Well, then guess what? You like it. I'm telling you that you have to like it because you never even tasted it before. So kill that spirit, kill that attitude. Same thing with friends. I just don't really like hanging out with them. Why? Have you ever hung out with them before? No. Well, then guess what? You're going to hang out with them. Parents, you have to model that yourself. You have to be intentional as to people who you're hanging around, because people, I've written down, they influence your standards, they influence your speech, they influence your thinking, and they influence your priorities. Hang around wise people. Influence is powerful even when subtle. Most people don't wake up one day completely different. They don't wake up one day absolutely mad at the world. Your teen doesn't wake up one day absolutely hating their parents. Your teen doesn't, you don't wake up one day in just this huge negative attitude. The drift happens slowly. Read with me in Exodus 23, verse 2. It says, you shall not fall in with the many to do evil. Romans 12:2, do not be conformed to this world. Do not be conformed to this world. You rarely notice influence while it is happening. That is what makes it dangerous. It's a slow fade. It's a slow happening. You don't see your teen drifting off. You don't see yourself drifting off until it's too late. Then you realize, well, crap, I'm not where I'm at all. It's the same thing with Bible study. It's the same thing in relationship with God. You don't realize that you're as far as you are until it's too late, until you're like, crap, man, I made some bad decisions. You have to be intentional now. The small decisions matter. Here's another one I've written down. Not everyone close to you is good for you. There are some very close people to you that you've had all your life, that you've just been bonded with, that you've raised your kids with, that are not good for you. And you need to have the honest conversation with yourself to say, they are no longer wise for me to hang around. They are no longer wise for my stage of life. They are not making wise decisions here, so I cannot glean from them anymore. You have to have that honest conversation with yourself. This is hard but necessary. I have written down, some relationships strengthen your walk and others slowly weaken it. Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. Amos 3:3, do two walk together unless they are agreed to meet. 2 Corinthians 6:14, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. You have to ask yourself in these relationships, is this pulling me closer to Christ or is it not? It's not, is it pulling me away? If it's even just making you stand static, it should be pulling you closer in. If it's not pulling you in, it's not doing what God has intended the relationship to do for you. Get rid of it. Boyfriend, girlfriend, your adult friends, your coworkers, all of it. If it's not pulling you closer to Christ, you should have nothing to do with it. Your utmost priority in this life is to grow closer and become more like Christ. So you need godly community. Christianity was never meant to be isolated. Hebrews chapter 10, verses 24 through 25. And let us consider how to stir one another up to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. Ecclesiastes 4, 9 through 10 says, two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their toil. And if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls, and has not another to lift him up. You need accountability. You need encouragement. You need correction. You need support. Hey, guys, all of this is found in the church. And there's some people that have left the church because this person upset me. That is an incredibly foolish response. Don't leave the church because someone has just upset you. Leave a church over a doctrinal issue, over maybe a pastor failing in a huge sinful area, but over a minor disagreement, over something that is minute. Man, that is what the body of believers is there for, to discuss these things one-on-one, to hash these things out. because it is important that you meet together to stir each other up for good works. Stir each other up. Talk it out. Be the friend you're looking for. Most people only ask, do I have good friends? But a better question is, am I one? Are you a good friend? Are you someone that someone can lean into to get biblical wisdom? I've stated this before. If someone was to mimic every decision that you're making right now, would they be following Christ? I mean, would they? Are you humble? Are you lowly? Are you dying daily? You ought to be. That's a good friend. Philippians 2:3-4 says, do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, what can it serve me? What are my rights? What are my standards? What are me? No. Look, but also on the interest of others. How can I esteem your interests higher than mine? How can I do what you want to do instead of what I want to do? Man, I don't want to confront you about this. I don't want to call you out for this sin. But But if I was in your scenario, I should want to call you out. Well, hold on. I'm not making sense. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. Treat others how you'd want to be treated, right? If you're in sin, if you're falling back, if you're drifting away from God, you would want someone to say, "Hey, dude, let what's happening? What's going on?" and lift that person up. So be that friend to other people. Again, these seeds that you're planting, eventually you will reap. You'll reap friends. As you're being that friend, you'll reap friends that'll do that to you, to say, "Hey, buddy, you're falling back," because it's going to come. You yourself are going to fall. I fall. But I've surrounded myself with friends and with mentors and with wise people that say, "Hey, John, watch out here. Hey, John, slow your tongue here. Hey, John, watch out this here." And I love that. I've surrounded myself with wise people so that I can become wise. I'm not yet, but I'm becoming wise. All right, 1 Timothy 4:12 says, "Let no one despise you for your youth, but set the believers an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, in purity." Become the kind of person who strengthens others spiritually. Even if you're a new believer, your passion to learn about Christ, your passion to become more like him is infectious to longer-term believers. When I see someone just get saved, when I baptize people in their excitement, I get overly excited. I want to go and I want to kick down the gates of hell with a squirt gun. That I get excited. You can have spiritual impact on people no matter your spiritual level, but you have to have some sort of spiritualness within you. Okay, your friendships are shaping your future slowly, constantly, powerfully. Okay, evaluate your circle honestly. Okay, evaluate your circle honestly. Who is influencing you and who are you influencing? I guarantee you, you show me your influences, you show me those who are influencing you, and you show me their fruit, your fruit's going to match theirs within the next 2 years. You hang around disgruntled people, you're going to be disgruntled. You hang around sad people, you're going to be sad. You hang around these prideful people, you're going to be prideful. Surround yourself with people who you want to become. But I just don't fit in. You're right, you won't, because you're becoming that. But surround yourself with those people so that eventually you will become them. Growing is hard. Don't get me wrong. Growing into who you want to become, it hurts. Dying to self daily, it hurts. That's why they call it growing pains. It's a pain. It hurts. Denying yourself who you want to hang out with, whether or not, but I grew up with them, I did this with them, it doesn't matter. Your loyalty is to Christ. Die to yourself, have some growing pains, and surround yourself with wise people. Choose who you let into your life very carefully. All right, that's all I have this week on PJ Talks. Thanks so much for joining me. We got 2 more weeks of this series, and I'm very, very, very excited for it. All right, I'll see you next week on PJ Talks.
1, 2,